Beautiful day today. It's 27 degrees, enjoying the final run of summer, end of summer, August, and yeah, it's really great. So, should you get a 360 degree camera like this bad boy, in this case the Insta X4, I know they have an X5 out now, it's a more recent one. I'm going to make that a topic of this video based on my experience taking this camera up and down the country, most recently up to the very tip of the UK and back, mainland UK anyway, on the NC 500. This camera did let me down on that trip, but due to my own fault, and I'll explain what happened there. So firstly, if you're thinking about getting an Insta 360 camera, or the DJI 360 is out now, I believe, and so is, I think GoPro have one. The first question you want to ask yourself is, do you want to be spending a lot of extra time editing than you already do? Because the way this thing works is, as you probably know, it's got two lenses, one in the front and one in the back, and they're 180 degree lenses. And so what okay, he's going right. What the software ingeniously does is stitches together the two angles, and then obviously you can't see 360 degrees in the software unless you like flip it to the funny like planet mode type features. But so what you have to do is, as you're stepping through your editing, you either just accept the angle that it's given you if you're happy with it, or if you want to change the angle throughout your video, you have to chop the footage into segments and then basically swivel it around, and then you'll get both forward facing, rear facing, sideways, up and down as well, if you want it, if you want some angles of the road. So yeah, it's really awesome for that, and you can use the selfie stick to kind of extend the camera away from your bike. Now I've given up on that, and I'll explain why. I just use this now for 4K, not 360, which you're going to say it kind of defeats the purpose of a 360 camera, doesn't it? But the reason I've decided to do that is first of all, I can't be bothered with that high advanced level of editing using Insta's dedicated software rather than my normal video editor. So it has to be like a dedicated 360 editing software. And also the size of the files, because in 360 mode this is filming in 8K, and then it reduces down by the time you've chosen, like your angle. But the file first of all, compiling the videos from the 360 files takes a hell of a long time on my laptop for anything, even like a 1 minute clip. Just ridiculous. For really lengthy videos, you're going to be sitting there forever, unless you've got some kind of really powerful gaming laptop or PC setup or Mac. That's my experience anyway. So massive file sizes and hassle of editing are the two things that put me off. So I've just decided, no, I just stick it in single lens mode, either facing me or facing away, and I use MP4, and much less hassle with the editing. So that's one thing. The other thing, as I discovered on my Scotland trip, and this is why the GoPro proved to be the sturdy, reliable camera, whereas the Insta wasn't, and that's because I managed to scratch both lenses stupidly. So first of all, this camera comes with optional lens protector caps, which I've got on here, and obviously you're well advised to put them on the camera and then adjust the settings so that it knows that the lenses are on and compensates somehow. The problem is that these lenses are going to get smudges on them and even dust inside somehow. I don't know how, but it does get in there. So you're going to have to take them off, take great care not to scratch the lens inside, clean them, put them back on. And you know, if it's kind of damp, you know, you've got an extra layer basically to contend with. And so I ended up having one of the lenses removed simply because I lost it, and then realizing that actually if I filmed with the lens off, the quality was better and didn't have the interference of smudge on the lens. And so I would alternate the lens cover to protect my good lens, and then do it that way, take it off the good lens when I was filming, in other words, alternate. So then what happened is, carelessly on my Scotland NC500 trip, I was shoving the Insta camera into my rucksack while still on the selfie stick, without realizing that because the lenses are so sensitive, just with it rubbing against other items in your rucksack as you're riding, it's enough to scratch the lens. And I managed to do it twice like an idiot. Both lenses got scratched, and then the camera was useless unless you want really rubbish footage with a big crack across the screen. So I thought about it. I looked at some YouTubes about guys trying to do a self DIY job on this camera. Some have done it, and it involves ungluing the lens and gluing a new one back on. I think, yeah, if you're like a specialist camera repairer, you'll probably be no hassle at all. But I didn't fancy taking a risk. It's an expensive camera. So I thought, well, I'll send it into Insta and get them to quote me a repair, which they did, and it came back and it was not cheap. It was 130 quid to fix both lenses. What they did do, one thing they did do that was kind, which I suppose is about right for the price, is they sent me 2 lens protectors, and I already had one. I'd lost one, but I already had one, so I've now got a spare, and these are brand spanking clean ones that are on it now that they sent me. So it was nice that they did send me those. And so now if I take these lens protectors off, I'm just going to be really hyper conscious of not doing anything stupid like putting the camera down. This pub burnt down, this Cottage Inn, which was one of my favourites. It's a shame. I don't think it's coming back. So I have some protectors for this, which again, if I'd had my head screwed on right, I would have just, and I wasn't being so lazy whilst on my NC500 trip, I would have popped them on before shoving it in my bag. So that was that. As a sideline on the same trip, I've been to the garage this morning to get I blew a fuse on my bike through fiddling with this cigarette charger thing here, charging my phone, and then the whole thing getting damp. I basically got caught up in Storm Floris on the NC500 trip, and then somehow blew a fuse, and so the sat-nav wouldn't charge. Fortunately for me, that happened on the very last day when I was returning from Scotland. I didn't really much need a sat-nav too much, although I was using it from battery power for a bit, so I'm lucky there. That happened on day one. It would have been a real inconvenience not having the ability to charge sat-nav or the phone while on the go and do like 5, 6, 7 hour trips. Anyhow, so so that was that. So I had electronic issues on this trip. Let's just put the home address in. I can just go where I like and then just head home. I'm still in my village here. There is a vineyard in this village. I only discovered it about 5 years after moving here. The Blabbers Vineyard. It's absolutely fantastic place. Anyway, back to the topic. Do I regret buying this? No. I love the camera. The lenses are super fragile, unlike the GoPro, which is just solid. I like the selfie stick, that hides itself in the footage. I like the ease of use. You can take it underwater and all that. I love the camera, but for me, I keep it in MP4 mode, in 4K mode, and I'm not bothering with 360 because it's too much palaver. So you could argue then, well, why get a 360 camera if that's all you're going to end up doing? Well, I kind of came to that conclusion the hard way through just losing patience. So yeah, I would say if you've got an action camera and you want another camera and you want simplicity, video editing to be kind of as straightforward and simple as possible, like me, then get another action camera. Don't bother with a 360. If you're going to use the 360 features, then go for it, but just be aware of the idiosyncrasies and nuances and frankly pain in the backside aspects of a 360 camera. One thing I was going to say, the major advantage I see for 360 cameras, if they could improve the ease of editing, which I'm sure they will, somehow get the file size down, which I guess is going to happen one day, or machines will just become so powerful that so as for it not to be an issue anyway, then one of the major advantages of having the 360 cam is in a single camera you're covered from all angles. I'm thinking from a security insurance type of perspective, right? That if someone goes in the back of you, chances are you're going to catch them. If there's some mishap in front of you or to the side, the camera's got every angle covered, particularly if, not like I'm doing here, if I had my selfie stick on here and this was high up, then the camera it's got you covered basically, and that is definitely one strong point. I mean, to that I would say you're probably not going to have it switched on unless you're making film, but if you do happen to have it on, then, you know, it's film and everything. Those are one of the big pluses for this camera. And also the fact that, you know, as you're going along and filming, if you catch something from the side on this GoPro, like I was constantly doing in Scotland, going past waterfalls and things, and you're turning your head sideways to catch that footage and often not quite catching it well, this is just going to catch it automatically. So in the editing software, you're just going to isolate that segment and swivel the angle around, and Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. So yeah, you make your own mind up. Obviously you can tell from this point that I have mixed feelings about 360 cameras and probably wouldn't buy another one, but at the same time I don't regret buying this. Whenever I want to, if I want to, I can turn the 360 feature back on and use it, particularly on a short clip, right? Say 15-30 second clip that's going to be quick to compile using the software. It's not going to, my PC's not going to be sitting there languishing for like hours. For that it's useful, and the holiday I'm about to go on in just over a month's time, I may use that feature. It may be useful at times. You know. Anywho, that's my 5 pennies worth on 360 cameras. I think I got maximum 2 days usage out of it, but because I was careless, it was really from day 3. It's the GoPro that kept me going on that Scotland trip, and luckily I had two spare batteries. I could have done with a spare SD card as well, and when I do my next tour in Ireland, I think I will bring a spare SD card, because storage can become an issue when you're filming in 4K as well. I've got this on 5K today. I'm just experimenting with something new, and I've realised today as well that I can actually connect this DJI mini mic. Oh, there's a pheasant there. See, if I had that on 360, I wouldn't have had to swivel my head round. What was I saying? The DJI, who I really like. I've got their pocket camera, and I would seriously consider their action camera if I was to get another. Their little mini mic is compatible with this. I tried it with the GoPro Hero 12 and no joy for some reason. So I've got that just inside my crash hat, and that's connecting fine. And I think that's going to solve my audio problems that I've been struggling with for a while. And the kind of crappy solution I'd come up with is no longer working out. Just wind interference. I got a little bit of audio on the first day, my NC500 videos, and then I was just basically having to dub over after the event. So I head home now, and I wasn't going anywhere in particular today, though it's a really beautiful day. I just wanted to, hopefully this video will be helpful to you if you're sort of going in thinking of getting the 360 camera, and you're going in blind. You don't really know what they're all about. You've never had one before. Obviously you're going to do your due diligence better than I did. You're going to watch all the YouTubes and like the pros and cons ones, because it's a lot of money you're spending, and you're going to come up with your decision. But I hope that my video will help you with that. Let me know what you think. If you're getting on really well with your 360 cam, let me know about that as well. But some other things I will mention I really like about this camera is it's really good on the filtering out the wind noise compared with the GoPro. The Hero cameras, forget it, they're useless. The drift cameras, they're old cameras, but the GoPro really, when I'm editing the video, I'm having to turn the volume down on the clip, whereas this camera sorts that for me. And that's one really good thing I like about this camera. I like how steady and crisp it is as well. It's just slightly got the edge on my GoPro Hero 12. I know there's a GoPro 13 and also 14 coming out, of course. GoPro they've got some catching up to do, particularly with the other action cameras, particularly when it comes to low light conditions. This GoPro is no good for that, really. The other action cameras have got the edge, and even the same issue with the 13 as I'm seeing online on YouTube. So I think they may be addressing that on the 14. So the GoPro 14 becomes better for filming in bad light, low light conditions, should we say. Yep.